right, Bills Mafia, that's it. Another season ending in disappointment, heartbreak, frustration. I don't even have too many other words to describe it. I know I said earlier, as my wife so eloquently reminded me, that, we we weren't expected to be here. While that is true, when we had the ball down 3 with a little over 2 minutes left, I still expected us to pull it out. At least I hoped we would pull it out. I don't know where this kind of leaves the Bills, because during that game, it was just, there were some things that happened that you're like, And I think part of it is we still, I think reality hits in a moment like that where we don't have a game-breaking receiver. We just don't. And it showed up where Josh was standing back in the pocket, hopping at one point, just hopping, just waiting for somebody to get open, and nobody got open. Then there were the decisions to go for 2 and to continue the tush push when it wasn't working anymore. It wasn't working, and they continued to go to that well, and it cost them on that 4th down. That's when the Chiefs went down and scored. And that combined with the fact that they went for 2 when the Chiefs got that penalty on the extra point, and they tried again with the tush push, didn't work. I think sometimes Sean McDermott gets caught in between aggressiveness and common sense. Or in this case, Joe Brady got caught between aggressiveness and common sense. The two of them did not work that out. Like, at some point, Sean McDermott had to say, wait a minute, we're doing this too much. We are getting stopped again and again, and we can't continue to go to that well. That's the head coach's job. If the offensive, I don't care if he's a defensive guy, what his specialty is. He's the head coach. He's where the buck stops. If something isn't working, he can always say, don't do that anymore. Go to something else. He can make the call, go for it on 4th down, give us our best 4th down play other than that play. That's where Sean McDermott made his mistakes. And again, instead of kicking the extra point, you go for 2, you don't get it, then you got to go for 2 again, you don't get it, now you're down those 2 points, and instead of being tied, you let Kansas City get in a position where they can go for 2, and now they're up by 3. They're up, and I don't know, maybe I'm rambling here, but what I will say is, no matter what happens, I'm still Buffalo all day, still a Bills fan, and, again, I don't know where they're going to go from here. It's going to be a long off season. There's a lot of decisions to be made, especially at that wide receiver position. I called for Sean McDermott's head a while back. I'm not going to do that this time. But I will say this. They played with guts. They did. They were down 21-10. They could have folded the tents. I thought they were going to fold the tents. I was prepared to go home. I ain't going to lie. I was prepared to go home. But they gutted it out. They really did gut it out. I will give them that. But this one's on the coach. This is on the coach. And then, you know, it comes down to that one play. I'm not going to, you know, Dalton Kincaid drops the pass on 4th down. Am I going to blame him? Yeah, you got to catch that pass. But, man, Josh having to throw that pass in that position. It's 4th and 5. You couldn't come up with better protection than that. I mean, he was under siege as soon as that ball was snapped, basically. So, yeah, there's just a lot going on there. And the only thing I can say, we'll be back next year, I'm assuming. Hopefully they'll make some improvements in strategy.
Get a running back.
They've got a running back, baby. That was my wife.
You need somebody to make touchdowns.
James Cook had 2.
Besides him,
No, they need receivers. That's where the fault is. James Cook had over 100 almost 150 yards total offense and 2 touchdowns. Most teams, I mean, you look at the Eagles, Saquon Barkley. You look at the Ravens, Derrick Henry. If you got the one guy, which the Bills do, and actually they've got 3 guys who are really good at running back. So they're kind of set at running back, in my opinion. But it's receiver that they've got a problem. They don't have anybody that can get open, and that reality really set in today. But that's all I got. Until next week, baby. We'll see what happens, coaching wise, decision wise. It may be the draft before I'm on again, but we'll see. Go Bills.